Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Sports News Flash at 12. I am your host, your weekend sports anchor, Miguel Mike Medina. I hope all of you enjoyed your Thanksgiving weekend. I know I did. This Thursday for Thanksgiving, I did what I usually do as part of my tradition, which is watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, watch the three I only saw 1.5 NFL football games, which was the Bills, Lions, Giants, Cowboys, and Patriots, Vikings. But that Bills and Lions game, amazing, phenomenal. I give so much credit to the Detroit Lions for hanging in there on such a great team like the Buffalo Bills. But Bills Mafia came through with a field goal and they won 28-25. So that's that. And also, spend time with my family. Here, my sisters, they stayed at home. Obviously, we have a few of our family members who are sick. But at least we did the pre-Thanksgiving about a week and a half ago or so. So that's that. And but I enjoyed Thanksgiving. Also, for the first time in my life, I made pink potato salad, which I got up around 3 in the morning and started preparing everything. So I woke up very energized that morning. I usually wake up energized every morning to get my job done. And the pink potato salad was good. According to my mom, she approved it. My uncles got some of it. I ate 2 days, about 2 days straight of pink potato salad. And I just love eating Thanksgiving leftovers because it just tastes amazing the day after. And yeah, it was just a successful Thanksgiving. Before we get started, we won't have no commercials. We're gonna go straight into it because we have a few things to talk about, like the game, Michigan versus Ohio State. I'm very disappointed on the outcome of the game and what transpired. The announcement of the 2023 Baseball Hall of Fame candidates. And also, Washington Post are trying to cancel Jerry Jones over something that happened 65 years ago. So I have several things to say, so there won't be no commercial. And so first things first, we're going to kick things off with Michigan versus Ohio State. Coming into this game is the number 2 scoring offense versus the number 2 scoring defense. And Ohio State came into this game with more confidence compared to Michigan because Michigan running back Blake Corum, who has been outstanding this year, he has knee problems. He injured last week versus Illinois, and he only had about 1 carry in the second half in that game. So there were questions about whether he was going to be effective, whether he was ready to go. There was also even questions about whether J.J. McCarthy can throw the ball deep. Can he step up to the plate? And I remember the other day talking to my friend Avery Jones, who me and her, we do this show called College Football Time with Avery and Miguel on my other channel called the Journal. I told her for Michigan to win this game, it will be one of the 3 things. J.J. McCarthy will have a monster game. Number 2, Blake Corum will have an inspiration kind of game. Or number 3, it will probably be someone else who I don't expect to step up for Michigan. And sure enough, 2 of the 3 happened. For the second year in a row, Michigan beats Ohio State, winning the game 45-23. This is Michigan's first win at Ohio since 2000. 22 years, unbelievable. Wolverines running back Donovan Edwards scored 2 touchdowns on a huge run to ice the game in the fourth quarter. And as I said, J.J. McCarthy, the Wolverines quarterback, he silenced all the critics and delivered an outstanding performance. He threw 3 touchdowns of 45 plus yards, which is the most by a Michigan player in series history. Wolverines defense made a big difference in the second half. They made big stops when they needed to the most, so the momentum was completely on their side. As for the Buckeyes, they had no answer in the second half and didn't have the same urgency compared to the first half. Buckeyes missed several opportunities and they struggled with the run game. Michigan now advances to the Big Ten Championship next Saturday against Purdue. I certainly did not expect the outcome of this game. I did not expect a lopsided. If there was going to be a lopsided game, I thought it would be Ohio State to dominate, but it was the other way around. And my prediction was for the Buckeyes to win 34-24, but I wanted to be proven wrong in the sense that I wanted the game to be much more closer, like either or teams winning by 2 or 3 points, but for Ohio State to win by 22 points, it was very disappointing. Very disappointing performance by Ohio State. And, oh yeah, I can't forget. I was wearing the Ohio State shirt yesterday. For those of you who don't know, I am a writer for Cleveland Sports Talk, which is an independent sports company that will be making noise in the future. And therefore, I write anything that it's about Cleveland sports. And so I felt that it was imperial to support the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm a fan of this team. I like Michigan, but I'm more of a big fan of Ohio State. Plus, I have family that lives in Ohio, so it's more, for me, it makes more sense to lean more towards Ohio State. And plus, red is my favorite color, so I can't resist. I just can't. But Ohio State, now they have to wait and see if the committee will give them a chance to compete, because this one was tough. It was tough for Ohio State to lose this game, and it was at home on top of that. This was their redemption game from last year. They needed to win this game, but they didn't. But Michigan, much credit to them. They stepped up to the plate. J.J. McCarthy was a monster. And yeah, let's see what happens for Ohio State after what we just saw from them yesterday. Last Monday, baseball announced the 2023 Hall of Fame candidates. And listen to some of the names that will be joining on the first year on the ballot. Carlos Beltran is one of the 14 new additions to the ballot. He will be joined by former Mets pitchers R.A. Dickey, Francisco Rodriguez. You also have on the ballot Jacoby Ellsbury, Houston Street, John Lackey, Matt Cain. The list just goes on and on and on. And other players that are still on the ballot, names like Scott Rolen, Todd Helton, Billy Wagner, Andruw Jones, they are trying to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, the question is, who has a shot of talking or giving a speech, I should say, at Cooperstown for 2023? If I'm one of the baseball writers, I would say Carlos Beltran, Scott Rolen, and Andruw Jones. Carlos Beltran, he is the alleged leader of the whole 2017 Houston Astros cheating scandal. So the question is, will that scandal tarnish his chances of going to the Hall of Fame? My answer to that is hell no. Hell no. Yes, what he did was wrong, but that was in his last season. That was in his last season. So I can't use that to overshadow everything that he accomplished on the field during the peak of his career. Listen to this. Carlos Beltran. He's a 9-time All-Star. He's won 3 Gold Gloves. 1999 American League Rookie of the Year. He won the championship in 2017 with the Houston Astros. But listen to this. He's the 5th player to have both 400 home runs, 300 stolen bases, and the 4th switch hitter with 400 home runs. Oh yeah, we can't forget he's one of the greatest postseason hitters of all time. If you saw what he did in 2004 with the Houston Astros, it was magical. It was magical, especially against that NLCS against the St. Louis Cardinals. He was just phenomenal. So, I don't know. You tell me, but if it were me, I would put Beltran in the Hall of Fame because of everything he's accomplished as a hitter and as an outfielder, but more as a hitter. So, yes, he was the alleged master in the whole scandal, and I don't agree that he did that, but I don't think it should be that much of a big deal to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. But the baseball writers, they don't always get it right, so it'll be very interesting to see what they're going to do with him. Scott Rolen is definitely a Hall of Famer. I don't know what is the holdup with him. He might make the jump, like the way Mike Messina did. So I really hope that Scott Rolen gets in, and he deserves to get in. He's a 7-time All-Star. He's won 8 Gold Gloves. Not only was he a good hitter, but it was his defense that was just magical. He's 1997 Rookie of the Year. He won the World Championship with the St. Louis Cardinals in 2006. And in that World Series, he hit .421 with 1.213 OPS in the World Series. So there's that. And listen to this. His career wins above replacement of 70.1 is the 9th best among third basemen in the history of the game. I'll keep going because there's more that I have about Scott Rolen. He's 2nd of all time in most seasons with 120 OPS plus or higher and Gold Glove among third basemen in MLB history. Number 1 is Mike Schmidt with 10, Scott Rolen with 8, and then you have Nolan Arenado with 7. Another one, he's 3rd in all time for most career fielding runs among third basemen in MLB history. Brooks Robinson with 294, Adrian Beltre, Platano Power with 216, and Scott Rolen with 175. Scott Rolen deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. What more does he have to do to get in? And mind you, at the end of his career, he was battling through injuries, things that reduced his production. If it weren't for those injuries, he might would have accomplished even more. So Scott Rolen, I would definitely put him in the Hall of Fame. Andruw Jones, oh my God. In my other channel, the MMM Journal, I made a video about whether Andruw Jones deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I was on the record, and I'm gonna stay by it, that he deserves to get in the Hall of Fame. To me, he's a top 10 all-time great center fielder. Andruw Jones, baseball writers will use his total wins above replacement after the age of 30 as an issue of why he won't get in, because he's 4th in total wins above replacement after the age of 30, which is the fewest of any outfielder in the Hall of Fame. But I'm not going to use that so much against Andruw Jones because I look at other things he's accomplished. He's a 5-time All-Star, and he has 10 gold gloves to back it up. His defense in center field was just beautiful to watch in those years with the Atlanta Braves. So if it were me, he would be my third pick to speak at Cooperstown for 2023. But the way the voting is set up, I mean, I don't know if he's going to make that big of a jump. So in 2022, Scott Rolen has 63.2% of the vote, Todd Helton with 52, Billy Wagner with 51, and Andruw Jones had 41.4% of last year's vote. So, I mean, Scott Rolen has a much big of a chance to get in the Hall of Fame next year more than Andruw Jones. And what's crazy is that Jim Edmonds, another great center fielder, I feel that he accomplished more than Andruw Jones at that position. And he was basically a one and done. He didn't get that much love from the voters for Hall of Fame consideration. So like I said, with baseball writers, you don't know what to expect from them. They don't always get it right. So, but this is going to be a very fun and interesting candidacy for 2023. And we just have to wait and see what's going to happen. Last but not least, I gotta laugh because cancel culture is disgusting. I hate it. I'm sick of it. And this latest one just is even more ridiculous. It's like, oh. So, Washington Post. Washington Post is trying to cancel Jerry Jones. For those of you who don't know, but come on, you should know. But for those of you who don't know, Jerry Jones is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. So Washington Post decides to leak a photo of 1957 when Jerry Jones was just 14 years old in his hometown of Little Rock. And in this photo, we see Jerry Jones that he's in the back of a crowd in where white students try to block black students from entering the building. And I didn't make a big deal out of it because from my understanding, from what I see is a 14-year-old kid who's curious to see what's going on. He's not in the center, he's not in the front where everything is happening. He's in the back. So now they're trying to make it seem that Jerry Jones is a racist. They're accusing him of being a racist, that he's not promoting diversity, that he's not promoting black coaches in his franchise. Oh my God. I have no problem with diversity, but I'm the type of person that if I'm going to land a job, if I'm going to get a job, I don't want to get the job just by checking off the box. I want to make sure that I feel that I'm qualified and that I earn it. And again, just like last week or 2 weeks ago, when I talked about that now we have to be perfect. If we do something when we were in our teen years, that's going to cost us for a job interview or any opportunity 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years later because of something I've done in the past or something that we've done in the past. Have we forgotten everything that Jerry Jones has accomplished as the owner of the Cowboys? how many African Americans played for the Cowboys during his tenure as the owner? Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Larry Allen, Nate Newton. I can go on and on and on. If someone is truly a racist, they won't allow a single person of color to work in their franchise. And I'm talking players, coaches, personnel, etc. But no, everything is racist nowadays. Any little thing is racist. If I'm 14 years old, what would I do as a 14-year-old? I'll be curious to see what's going on. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm one of those people that I'm very nosy in the sense that I want to see what's going on, especially around my neighborhood. If you hear something, especially it's a loud ruckus, you're gonna see what's going on. If there's something going on, some screams, anything, you wanna see what's going on. The man was 14 years old. This was 65 years ago. And it was a very hard time in our nation. Racism was at the all-time high. So, I mean, it was a very stupid, very sad time that everything happened. And, but to take a picture that happened 65 years ago, that a 14-year-old kid who was not in the center of everything that's happening, he's in the back, to now pull this stuff now because of the cancel culture era, it just doesn't make any sense. But I'm not surprised. They're pulling every information from your past. That's why, as a public figure, you're never safe. Nowadays it's tough to be famous. It's tough to be a public figure because they will try to dig in your old tweets, old pictures, old everything, and use that to tear you down, to destroy you, to hurt your reputation for God, whatever reasons. Because people may not like you, people may hate you, or people want someone else to replace you. There could be many different reasons, but this was a very stupid and pointless move from Washington Post, and I completely lost respect for that company. Independent media sports rule. No, I said it wrong. Independent sports media rules. Sports news flash at 12 rules. And every other show that is politically incorrect rules. We have our freedom. We will say the truth. And that's what's important. Who doesn't want to be themselves? I know I want to be myself. I want to have freedom. That's why I created Sports News Flash at 12, because no one's going to give me opportunities, and I don't wait for opportunities. I don't wait for the green light. I create my own opportunities, and I want to say what I feel, and I'm sticking by that. Before we end the show, it's time for Miguel's top performances of the weekend. So here are my picks for this weekend. That does it for this episode of Sports News Flash at 12. As you know, I forgot to mention earlier, I decided to do the same thing that I did last Sunday. I just love the way the trophies look in the background. And plus, next Sunday, it will be the first Sunday of December. So I have something up my sleeve. So stick around for that. December is going to be an exciting time. It is one of my favorite months of the year. and I will have something even much more better for these next few episodes for Sports News Flash at 12. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stay safe. Be blessed. If you love football, have fun watching NFL Sunday. We have interesting games like the Rams versus Chiefs at 4 p.m. So enjoy the rest of your day. May always have God in your heart. When you have God in your heart, everything else will be just fine. All right? So if anything, if you have any questions about anything that I've talked today or in my past episodes, feel free to email me. It'll be right after this. And I'll see you next Sunday. May God bless you all.